This is what I do when I have no energy is I do no brainer work. That's when I do networking at its finest because it's just doing, it's not really thinking or overthinking sort of what's happening, right? Like you're not concerned about the relationships you're hurting or creating. You're really just going through motions and creating opportunity for yourself. So just to give a little bit of background, we don't share our stories very much on these calls, but I personally did not build my business from friends and family or anyone that I knew. I didn't invite any people that I knew for a really long time, like a couple years. And even still, like most of the people that I personally know, they came to me. And I wanted to keep that separate intentionally. I know a lot of people are like, invite your mom, invite your aunt, invite your dog, invite your uncle, invite your friend. I did not do that. And I think it's totally fine if that's not your MO. You can still build a business completely from scratch. I'm proof of that. I started, a brand new Facebook page, and I kind of just started from scratch. For me personally, I just needed a space where I was completely uninhibited to be able to kind of grow and like figure out who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I did not want to cross those two things together. I just bring that up because I know it's a little bit unique in our business, but I hope that it gives you a sense of, okay, how did she do that? Like, how do you find people, right? Which is always the biggest question. How do I find people to invite? And 100%, it came from networking for me. 100%. It was me going out on social media and finding people. And so that's kind of where this idea of networking and then connecting and then inviting became sort of my MO and what I taught from then on, because that's how I built my business from scratch without using any friends and family or prior relationships or anything like that. I mean, I didn't even sign up my husband for over a year, which was a mistake. I do not recommend. You should sign them up immediately, but it's just where I was at the time. But what it taught me so many things. I was extremely introverted, extremely quiet, like didn't really know. But at the same time, and this is important, and maybe it's the same for some people, when I was online and I was uninhibited in this space where I wasn't afraid of my friends or family judging me or any of that going on, I really purely was able to just be myself. I think maybe for the first time ever. And it was just such a freeing kind of thing. And so when I started learning how to network and when I started learning how to talk to people, it was definitely a lot of trial and error. But the more I did it, the more comfortable I became with it. The less emotional I became about the networking part. And the more I started to put the emotion into the connection piece of it. So for most of us, we get really emotionally involved in the invite process, right? For me, it's really when that connection is being made. And once the connection is made, I don't have any reservations from that point on. So I can invite confidently from that point on. So really, this is kind of the first step in that. You network, look for opportunity to have conversations, like gather people in, bring people in, like show people, oh my gosh, I'm here, like come look at my page. And then you make the connections. And once those connections are made through your stories or whatever you relate to, or whatever that person needs help or needs you for in that moment, if you will, once the connection is made, the invite process and the rest of it is just gravy. Like that is the coolest part about this whole process. So I'm just going to walk you through some of the networking. I actually pulled up an old one again because of the low energy and because we're moving. But I thought today, like how I really need to create a new one of these. How many of you guys saw that Instagram started a new thing called Threads today? How many of you have already signed up? Give me a me in the thread. Oh, perfect. Sign up. At the very end, I'm going to give you time to go in and just create your account. It's just an app. in the App Store. It's called Threads, but um, like with anything else, you guys, it's just about trying something new. So even if you hate the new platform, even if it's not your thing and you don't like it, like exercising this muscle of growth and exercising this muscle of, oh my gosh, there's something new, instead of resisting it, lean into it. Teach yourself that it's okay for that. Teach yourself that this is good. This is a new opportunity. This is a blank slate. This is a way to voice your opinion. Threads is basically just Twitter for Instagram. If you think about it that simply, right? But it's a brand new platform that carries all of your social media over to that platform already. So you kind of go in with some clout already. It's not like you're really starting from zero, like TikTok or something else like that. Okay. Okay. Just throwing that out there because that's all the rage right now. That's like a today thing. Like it launched today. So I'm just giving you the heads up to get on board early with that. Okay. Here is our power hour for today. Again, it's going to be pretty chill. This is just for notes. If you guys need to take notes, we're going to start with a post, which we usually do. Today, I want you guys to focus on something shareable, something savable, or something that you can easily hashtag, meaning it's got a very direct topic. So the reason why we're doing it this way is because you are trying to create that engagement, right? You're trying to get people to not just like your post, but share it. That's like my ultimate goal with networking, is to get everything that I'm doing shared, or like people tagging other people on it, because that's really what builds your community and brings people to you without you having to go out and do all the work, right? So focus on savable, shareable content. Sometimes, you guys, that's you going into your bookmarks, hopefully you have them, of valuable content, and resharing something if you don't have that energy today. So I'm going to give us a few minutes to go in and kick off the power hour with that. I'm just going to turn on our slow jams. I'm going to give us 5 or 6 minutes to go in and start this post, and then we'll go to the next one. Okay. Are you guys ready to move to the next one? Who got a good solid first morning post out? Sometimes it just is like really there, and other times it's like a repost, hashtag it, and move forward. So that's kind of what we're going to do. So here's what we're going to do. The next thing I want to do is a stories poll. So stories are kind of, I don't want to say obsolete. I think stories just need like a little revamp on Instagram. How many of you guys are still doing stories every day? Perfect. So what we're going to do is just do a 3-slide story. So introduce some kind of topic, whatever it is for the day. You can, since we're on the power hour, you can be like, oh, I'm on my power hour, right? And then you can be like, here's what I'm thinking about today, or whatever. Give your opinion on it. Like, think of a topic, give your opinion on it in the next slide, and then take a poll or ask a question on the third one. Super easy. So the first slide, introduce the topic. Good morning. I'm on my power hour today. Here's what I'm thinking about, whatever. Today, Threads just launched. So that would be a really great time for you to download Threads, share your profile, be like, who else is on this? Super simple, but it will bring people immediately to your Threads page. So that's what I would recommend. I'm going to give you guys a good solid 5 or 6 minutes to create this 3-story or 3-slide story, and then we'll move to the next one. Okay. Let's go to this next section. If you're still finishing up, it's fine. I'm just going to explain the next one. For those of you that don't know which threads are or what threads is, let me pull it up. It has a little @ sign. I don't know if you guys can even see this. Oh, because my background's blurry. You can't see it. It's got like a little @ sign. It's black, but it's like a fancy little @ It kind of looks like something Instagram would do. And apparently they assign you a number. And once you have a Threads account, it just automatically shows up in your Instagram profile. And people can just start going and following you on it. It's really simple. Okay. Then this next section. So what I want, the goal for this next section for me usually is to do a couple of each thing. So this is really just going in, making sure that you personally are being social, putting activity out there so the algorithms are like, oh, this person uses this app. Let's prioritize this person. So you'll want to go and look and see whoever followed you the most recently. You can follow them back. You can go onto their profile and like and comment and support them a little bit. DM them if you want to, a welcome to your page. Like 3 to 5 of their pictures, leave a comment on their last post, and then comment on one of their stories if they have a story open. This is really socializing with people who have connected with you. This is your chance to connect back just through networking, right? Like, oh, this new person found me. I'm going to go make sure that they know that I know that they're there. So it's really simple. Follow them back, DM them. I try to do this with a few people. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to go through this little checklist, and you can write down the people that you did it with if you want to. So you've got a list of new contacts. And then we'll move to the next section. For this section, you guys just remember, like, this is a really big part of networking, but the whole point of this and what I really try and focus on, which maybe will help, is whenever I'm networking, what I'm trying to do is add or leave value. That's it. I'm trying to like put myself out there for people to find. If people have found me, then I want to try to add value immediately if I can. And a lot of the times, you guys, it's as simple as just acknowledging somebody. That's it. Like, that is such a powerful thing. I do not follow everyone back that follows me. I am really particular about what I see in my feed every day. Like, I have to. So I'm a highly sensitive person. I'm a little neurodivergent is the word that I'm learning for ADHD. So I'm like trying to like really make sure that what I see in my Instagram feed is something that I get excited to come and look at every single day. And I have to be careful about things that aren't distracting. And so neurospicy, that's so funny. I'm going to say that from now on. So I have to be really particular about that. So usually with people who follow me, I don't worry so much about following them back as long as I'm acknowledging them, right? Like, that's the whole point of this exercise. This makes it so you don't have to follow them back. You can still interact with them and have them interact with you. That's really what we're trying to create here, is a real connection, right? And then if that real connection is formed and you naturally start talking to each other, then you can follow each other. I generally follow people or accounts that I talk to or that talk to me, meaning like, oh, this speaks to me. I love this, right? Okay. I'm going to give you a couple more minutes and then we're going to go to the next section. Okay. Let's go to this next little part. We're going to do two more things in this section. One of them is just a really quick audit. So I do this, just like I said, like often. I do this probably once a week, maybe once a day, where I just go into who I'm following and make sure that it's all relevant and seasonal. So just pop into the people that you personally are following. You can clean it up a little bit. There's a lot of mixed reviews on like whether to follow or unfollow people. I don't pay attention to any of that. I don't care about any of that. What I care about is my mindset and my ability to show up in the way that I want to. And so if there's some accounts that you need to let go of, then I let them go. This process of like letting in and letting go and being fluid that way and allowing yourself to practice that in these little tiny ways, you guys, make such a huge difference in building your confidence online. So I'm just going to give you a minute to go through and kind of look at that. And then I want you to tell me how many people you ended up unfollowing, if any. Okay, so I'm going to give us just a solid minute to go through that and audit it a little bit. Okay, did you unfollow anyone? I only unfollowed one person, but one thing that I like to do when I go into my Instagram and I click on following, at the very top of it, what I really like is the categories, because it will say least interacted with. And that's usually where I go into, and I'm like, okay, these are either the people that I'm seriously neglecting. They're like the celebrity accounts that I follow because whatever, or they're like people that I need to just let go, right? 8. That's awesome. Probably means you haven't done this for a little while. That's great. And then it also shows you the most shown in your feed. That's actually a category that's super interesting, because that's what you actually are paying the most attention to and ingesting the most. So if you go into that and look at it, and it has nothing to do with things that are going to help you progress forward, or they're people that don't support you, like, it kind of makes sense where your mindset or your mentality is at when you get on social media. So it's just something to kind of pay attention to. Okay. Okay. The very last activity we're going to do on this section is going to your favorite or related accounts. And this is, again, you guys, still, I'm preaching this, still one of the best ways that I've found to cultivate authentic, natural relationships on Instagram specifically, with people who I want to be in the same room with. And I go to my mentor accounts, the accounts that like progress me forward, that push me, like the big accounts, right? That have a lot of content, have a lot of followers, have a lot of comments on their content. And what I do, so I want you to go to one of your pages like that. Does anyone not have a page like that? Is anyone not following like a big account of some kind? I recommend this as like a mindset exercise. So I would look for either people in your niche, like people who you're learning from to share content from, that are like teaching you about your niche, or I recommend accounts that really help your mindset, because what you're going to find is other people who need that as well, and the same, along the same lines as you, right? So you're going to have an instant connection just based on that. Like, you follow that same kind of mindset work. So pull up your account, and I want you to find one piece of content in there that you relate to. And I want you to just look and see how many comments are on that one piece of content and write it in the chat. and then I'll tell you what to do. Yeah, 256 comments. So there's 316 comments on this one that I'm looking at. 665 comments. That is a big one. Okay, so what I want you to do is pull those comments up, and I just want you to glance through them. I want you to heart any comments that you agree with. Okay, what this does, you guys, is it sends that person a notification. So-and-so liked your comments. And what that person usually will do is like, oh my gosh, who is this person that liked my comment? And then they'll feel good because you liked their comment. You liked something they said. Okay, this is why I think this is so powerful, because Instagram is so visual and people get likes for how pretty their pictures are. This is a compliment to who the person is, because they're expressing or commenting an opinion, right, on a topic that matters to them. So for you to go in and support that comment, support that, but just by liking it, it is extremely impactful. It's a little gift of acknowledgement. You think that this stuff like really doesn't matter and it's kind of innocuous. This is a big deal. Okay, so not only can you go through and just heart whatever you, I mean, you guys, like, this is just free advertising for you if you think about it too, because every single person's comment that you like, they get a notification about your page. Do you think they're going to go to your page and be like, who is this person that's liking my comment? Yeah, they probably are. So that's one huge way to just gain exposure. This is another great way to find people who are like-minded. If you love something particularly, like, comment on their comment. If you find an opportunity to coach somebody out loud, coach them out loud. I can't tell you how many people are like, I wish I could this, or I wish I looked like this, or I wish something else, or I'm struggling in these comments, and no one's paying any attention. It's a huge opportunity for you to share value and practice doing that. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple minutes and then we're going to go to the next part. So the whole point of this exercise, Megan, is to find accounts with a lot of followers. You're actually looking for people that have giant accounts, like millions of followers, right? Because you're kind of using their exposure to kind of expose yourself, if you will. Like you're wanting to go in and kind of interact with the people who are interacting with that content. So at least for this exercise, you want that bigger following count on the account that you're trying to network with. So like big accounts like Gary Vee or Push Daily, like Chalene Johnson, her Push one is awesome, especially if you have ADHD. There's like so many different ones. There's mindset therapy ones. There's like actual therapists. There's so many, you guys. There's so many food channels and so many health and fitness channels and so many, like literally any topic that you can think of that you're interested in. Even if you just type in that keyword, I bet you'll find some top account that is working on that specific topic, right? which is kind of the ultimate goal for yourself. Like you want to be the person that pops up when someone types in what word. Did anyone find an opportunity to coach somebody out loud? If you did, share their comment. Like, what's the comment? I always think about it like, what's the comment that stops me in my tracks when I'm doing this? Like, what was like, oh, blaring out loud? You want to go like a little extra, and because they do max amount the amount of like likes you can comment on. It'll be like, oh, you've reached your limit. We limit the activity on here, which makes a lot of sense, right? Trying to be social. What you can do is comment on their comment with just like a little emoji, like, I agree, like your comment's awesome. You can go, sometimes that actually gets more attention than just liking their comment. Because it still sends that person a notification, but then they like actually read what you wrote too. And they'll go back to that post and be like, oh, I remember this post. It was so awesome or whatever. Like, it's just, this is such an impactful piece of socializing on Instagram that I think so many people overlook. But like, when you really want to build your circle and build your tribe, like this is how you do it. You get nitty and gritty and picky with it. Okay. I'm going to give you 2 more minutes and then we're going to move on to this last part. Uh-oh. Oh my gosh, you guys, it just froze my computer somehow for some reason. Somehow it's fine. Everything's fine now. I fixed it. Okay. So I've decided instead of doing this last half on Facebook, we're just going to pivot and we're going to talk about threads for a second, because I think this is important and it's interesting and new and fresh. And Melissa, that is exactly what I was talking about. She saw a comment that said, I'm trying, and that's it. I'm trying. And she took that opportunity to encourage someone. It's exactly what I'm talking about. Just something so simple, but practicing coaching out loud. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We're just going to pivot because that's fine. Pivoting's great. We're going to talk about threads for just a second, and I'm going to give you a second to kind of strategize what you want to do on there. I'm telling you guys, like, this is, again, if this is something that you don't adopt into your daily practice or use for inviting or to grow your business, whatever, the point of this is I want to push you to try something new and to get out of your comfort zone. That's the whole point of this. So I want everybody to go to the App Store, Really simple. I'm going to have you pull up Threads. THREADS. It looks like it's the second one in. It's a black logo with a white @ squiggly line. Tell me when you have it downloaded. And I'm just going to walk you through it. Perfect. Once you have it downloaded, let's pull it up and we'll just go through it. And then I'm going to give you a second to kind of brainstorm. So one thing that's important with these new platforms is to really strategize what you want to do on it and make it different, make it stand out from what you're doing already, but not creating an extensive amount of extra work for yourself. I love that this platform is text only. Let me see if I can show you what it looks like. Hold on. Okay, it looks like this. This is the right one. Whoops. Okay, so really quickly, if you pull it up and you go to your little, you tap the little person on the farthest right, that's going to bring up your homepage. This is actually really self-explanatory. If you're familiar with Instagram, you'll understand it pretty immediately. You can't edit your name. I definitely recommend just importing your current Instagram. There's an option for that. It'll say, do you want to just use your current username on Instagram or whichever profile you want to use? Pick the one you want to use and then go with that. That just, again, adds instant credibility. People know who you are on that platform immediately. If they come from Instagram, super simple. And it adds a number to your profile account on Instagram, which is now your Threads number, and people can tap on it and follow you on Threads really easily from your Instagram, Facebook, or sorry, your Instagram homepage. Okay, so you can edit your profile to say whatever you want. Your name can't change, but your profile can. So you can take a couple minutes and just update that if you want to. I'm just going to walk you through the little icons. So tell me when you have it downloaded, imported. Just post it in the chat and I'll walk you through this. I did public. I recommend doing public. If it's private, then you're just talking to yourself. The number, so once you have Threads set up, if you go back into your Instagram account and you look at your profile page, you're going to see it right under your name. It's really ugly and it's bothering me already, but it's fine. Everything's fine. Let me see if I can show you the number really quick because it's kind of weird. Oh, duh, I already took a picture of it. Hold on. So it'll look like that. See the little number underneath my name? Sorry, it's backwards because, you know, it's a screen, but it just like will automatically pull that up on your Instagram now. Okay, so that's there. Okay, so once you're in Threads, if you hit the home thing, it's the same thing as Instagram. That's your news feed. And apparently like everyone and their dogs tweets you can see, just like Twitter. So whether you follow them or not, like you can see, actually, I think, no, these are people that I also don't follow. So, let's see, are they? I don't know. I don't know yet. The feed is full of people's things that they're saying already. Okay. The little magnifying glass, again, is just to search people, search pages, try and find people that you already know that you love to follow. The little middle button with the square and the little line is how you create a new thread. You just pull that up, and I recommend everybody doing it. Let's just all create a thread. I'll make this really easy for you. Make it a welcome. Welcome, everyone. Super simple. You don't even have to put anything else on there. And post your first thread. It might take a minute for your numbers to populate if it's not on there yet. This is exactly like Twitter, you guys. It's just from Instagram. They're trying to capitalize on the Elon Musk mess that has been made over there. And they're trying to get people to come to this platform instead. They basically just were like, okay, Twitter's not Twitter anymore. Let's make Twitter Twitter again, but call it Threads. That's literally what they've done. There's already 14 million people on Threads, and it launched last night. Okay, so it's going to be a big platform. That's why I'm wanting to walk you guys through this now, and kind of getting yourselves ahead of it. Sometimes it's easier to have somebody walk you through it and just like make you do it. Okay. Has everyone posted their welcome? Look at us. See how productive we are. Today is a great day. I know, I was just like dancing. I'm like, okay. Okay, so the heart is kind of interesting. That's what's going to show you all your activity. And what's really cool about this, and what I like that they did, is at the very top of it, my husband just started following me. That's so funny. You can see replies, mentions, who's verified. Like, you can actually just go in here and see really simplified activity. I love this. I wish they did this on Instagram, where we could just be like, where's all my new comments for today in one spot? Would be great. Okay, so that part of it's pretty easy. And then again, your little person on the far right corner is just your home page, your home profile. I'm actually, okay. Okay, so now that you have this set up, what I'm going to give you is 5 minutes. And I want you to just think. I want you to brainstorm what you can do with this fresh new platform. What do you want it to be for your business? What do you want to talk about on here? How do you want this to be an informative page for you? Do you want this to be social and just your personality, like a place for just your personality to come out? Do you want this to be like a specific niche directed content page? Like, I'm just going to give you a couple minutes to kind of brainstorm, and then we'll close up. And if you want to, you can post your thoughts in the chat. That's always really helpful. I think it helps people who don't love this kind of creative brainstorming to be like, oh, that's a good idea, and just take it on. Okay, so I'm going to give you a couple minutes, and then we'll close up. Cheryl brought up a really good point. Her opening statement, which I love, was, I'm not going to make the mistake of following all the people. I think that's great. I think that's great advice to start with that. I'm not going to make the mistake of X, Y, and Z. Instead, I'm going to ABC, do this, this, and this. Unfiltered thoughts. That would be a terrifying world if it was me opening up. Okay. Well, we did it. We got through a whole hour of work, you guys. And look, our energy is maybe not anymore, but it's not any less, right? So that's a win. Okay. Eunice said this is going to be a niche specific to me. I love that. I think the sooner you guys can really, honestly, you guys, this is the most important thing. Pick something and stick with it. It's like when you start second guessing yourself that you start going all over the place and get lost and lose confidence. Honestly, it takes, I'm going to tell you, 90 days for anything to take root. So commit to any massive change, like any big shift, for 90 days. Like pick a topic, pick a niche, stick with it 100% for 90 days. And at the end of 90 days is when you can go back, look at all the data and be like, did this work? Is this working? Do I like it? Do they like it? Is this good? Is this not good? But until that point, it's going to look like this, a roller coaster. Your content's going to bomb and then it's going to boom and then it's going to bomb and then it's going to boom. It's just what it is, right? That's how I like to look at content in general, because you guys, if you really think about it, again, we're talking about energy a lot, but people's energy is wackadoodle. It's all over the place. It's up and down, and whatever hits them in that moment, again, is either going to bomb or it's going to be like a boom going off, like, oh my gosh, like a light bulb, right? So you have to really take your emotion out of how people and the responsibility of how people are going to react to what you're saying or what you're putting out there. Like what's important is how it affects you. Like, did this land for you? Was this a boom moment? Was this a bomb moment? Like, really, how are you taking in the content and sharing the content that you're putting out there for other people? The responsibility of how they react is on them. This is my golden nugget for you for the end of our call, is you are only responsible for whose emotions? Your own. That's it. Not your kids, not your spouse, not your coworkers, not your coaches, not corporate. You're only responsible for your own. And when you really take that on, it's so empowering, and you end up empowering a lot of people because you become an emotionally safe person. And that means whatever content, whatever you put out there, that confidence is going to kind of exude in that. And that's really what people are attracted to, right? They like people who know who they are because they're safe. People who know who they are and what they need are safe people. People who don't know who they are and don't know what they need are not. So when you really think about people and you think about putting yourself out there and networking with strangers, really being secure within yourself, really being confident within yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what you really need is really all that you need to be able to go out and do this and really talk to people. And that is a practice. It happens over time and doing it every single day. Failing, bombing, booming, whatever it is. Okay, so keep up the good work. Let's pat ourselves on the back that we're done with this for today. And then I will see you guys in a couple weeks. And I hope that your threads kick off. Now you guys can all be like, I signed up for threads, and you don't even have to think about that anymore. So I'll see you guys in a couple weeks, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.